You mean the world to your dog, and that's why they act as though it's the literal end of the world when they are left alone without you. Separation anxiety is a very real thing for dogs, and can be very distressing to them if the proper steps are not taken before you embark on your various mysterious quests. Whether it be popping over to the corner store for an item, or going away on holiday for a month and leaving them with a friend or at a reputable kennel. Your four-legged pal doesn't have a watch to check the time, or context as to why and for how long you're leaving. As far as they're concerned, the light of their life just left, plunging them into eternal darkness. Yes, that is very dramatic, but you must admit, the way our dogs sometimes behave when you come home could win them an Oscar for their performances. The trauma they experience from separation anxiety may seem very over-exaggerated to us, but to our patiently pining pets, it's potentially very problematic, as it can be harmful to them both mentally and physically. Dogs can develop behavioral problems if their separation anxiety goes untamed. The most common behavioral issues for dogs experiencing separation anxiety are fear, anxiety, depression, and aggression. You won't exactly feel overly confident taking your dog anywhere if they behave aggressively toward people and other animals. A pivotal part of having a functional relationship with both humans and animals is trust. If you don't feel as though you can trust your pooch, you'll be hesitant to take them along with you and potentially make the problem worse by leaving them home alone more often. Speaking of trust, separation anxiety can also lead to your lonely lapdog developing trust issues with you. This would be heartbreaking for sure, but it can also be potentially harmful as they may be more hesitant to training or obeying your commands. Why would your petulant pet sit, stay, and not chase the mailman down the road if they don't trust you? I sincerely hope that this isn't the first time you're hearing this, but running into traffic can potentially be very harmful. Separation anxiety can lead to more subtle health problems than being caught in the slipstream of an 18-wheeler. The stress that your anxious animal goes through when its separation anxiety is left unchecked can weaken their immune system and lead to physical problems such as cardiovascular complications, skin problems, and gastrointestinal issues. Unfortunately, the physical dangers don't just stop there. Your overly stressed pet may try to escape their confines, whether that be a transport crate, house, or yard. Not only are these energized emancipation endeavors bad for their health, as they could lead to serious injury, but they can often leave your property in a bit of a state, as they may try to chew and scratch at your doors and windows if they're inside, or dig a hole to China to try to get to you. Looking for signs of an attempted escape is a good way to gauge whether your dog is suffering separation anxiety while you're away. Signs of an attempted escape can be quite an obvious indicator to detect. But how can you know if your dog is suffering from separation anxiety if you can't observe their behavior when you're not around? Well, there are a number of less obvious indications that you can look out for if you suspect your dog is potentially suffering from separation anxiety. If you notice that your patiently pining pooch goes straight to their food bowl after you have arrived back home, or that they have barely touched the water bowl while you were away, this could be an indication of loss of appetite and a change in water intake. A loss of appetite and a change in water intake are indicative of separation anxiety, so be on the lookout for whether they rush to see to their basic needs after they have greeted you. When warmly welcoming you home, is your delightful doggo drenching your denims with drool, or otherwise slobbering more profusely than normal? Excessive salivating or drooling is a sign of separation anxiety and can be a somewhat obvious indicator. Speaking of obvious indicators, has your house-trained hound left you a little something to clean up while you were away? Or do they heed nature's call inside the house shortly after your arrival? A house-trained dog eliminating indoors can often be a sign that they're suffering from separation anxiety. If you live close to others, it's worthwhile checking in with your neighbors as to how your dog behaves when you're away. Have they noticed a lot of barking, howling, or whining coming from your house while you're not home? Excessive barking is a clear indicator of separation anxiety and can be quite irritating for the people living around you. So, checking in with them will not only give you an insight as to how your howling hound is behaving while you're not home, but will also show them that you not only care about your dog's well-being, but theirs too. If you're lucky enough to find a dog sitter, or can drop your doggy off with a friend while you're away, it's worth asking them to look out for other indicators of separation anxiety that you won't be able to notice. as these behaviors will only exhibit while you're not around. Does your dog desperately pace up and down or walk around in circles while you're not in their presence? Do they have trouble settling down or finding a comfortable resting position? Does your adoring dog seem depressed, down, or otherwise lacking in energy while you're not around? All of these behaviors can be a sign of separation anxiety and are definitely worth looking out for. So what can you do if you've diagnosed your devoted dog with separation anxiety? Our first suggestion is by far the easiest to implement and can really make a huge difference in the levels of anxiety your dog experiences while you're away. Gradually increase the time you spend away from your dog. Start off slowly by only leaving the house for short periods at a time, to get them used to the idea that you may come and go, but that you'll always be back. Gradually increase the time you're away each time that you leave, and eventually your precious pooch will get used to the idea that you're not supposed to constantly be at their side and get used to being left alone. Leaving your loving lapdog with a chew toy or special item for them to play with while you're away can also help to placate their pining and lessen the anxiety they may suffer from being away from you for too long. Before you leave your dog alone, make sure to give them plenty of exercise outside and play with them to help drain them of excess energy for when you're gone. This will make it easier for them to lay down and relax and give them an opportunity to do their business before you leave them inside the house too. Try not to get them too excited when you leave or arrive, and try to ignore them for the first few minutes when arriving home. Making a big deal of your arrival and departure can make separation anxiety worse. Wait for your doting doggo to calm down before interacting with them. Similarly, scolding or disciplining your dog for acting up or otherwise displaying signs of separation anxiety when you arrive back can also worsen the situation and lead to a behavioral pattern that isn't healthy for either you or your lonesome dog. Getting your lonely lump of doggy love a playmate to keep them company can also be a great way to ensure that your precious pup isn't too bored while you're away. Make sure to introduce the two dogs to ensure that they get along well before you leave them alone together though. Using a white noise machine or a DAP, dog-appeasing-pheromone diffuser, or collar can help placate your pet and help them relax when you're not around. Other technologies such as a baby monitor or any other kind of camera will also give you a look at what exactly your dog is doing while you're away, which can be useful for figuring out a possible solution, either by yourself or discussing it with a trained professional. Speaking of a professional, if none of the above methods help your pining pup problem, then consider going to a vet for medication to help with the anxiety you and your best friend are experiencing. An animal behaviorist will also be able to give you insights and advice to help you piece all the clues together to help solve your dog's separation anxiety.